All right, everybody. Of course, I'm MLH. I'm here with the man who needs no introduction, the man, the myth, the absolute legend, DJ KDot the party. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. I wouldn't say a little under the weather. I just got allergy issues, so
Yeah, yeah, I
Gonna
can hear
take-
it.
yeah, I got to take some Claritin.
Yeah,
Um, and
I
thank you
take.
for the introduction. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure, man. We've got
Right.
so far we got a lot. We started about 5 minutes early just to give people a chance to get in here. KDot.
Yeah.
Let me introduce everybody that's in chat. Lady V is in there. Our lovely mod, Fuzzy Pink Handcuffs, is in there. One of the greatest. Brandon is in there. What's up, Brandon? Nice to have you in here. The lovely Southern Yankee. Thank you for being a Monster Squad member. Same to you, Brandon. Who else do we got in here? We got there's a few more people. I think I saw Riddle in there. What's up, Riddle? Nice to have you in here. By the way, thank you, Riddle. You know what for. Chris, thank you for being here, my dude. Let's see who else is in here. Tricky Trixie.
We
Uh,
got the beautiful Renetta.
oh,
Mm.
Renetta is in here too. What's up, Renetta? Nice to have you here. Tricky. Oh yeah, I went live just because Man Bear Pig also went live. No. This is a Big Chief in the house. What's up, Hefe? Nice to have you here. This is going to be a little bit different and but super important. I haven't done one of these in a while. It's been a while since KDot and I have done a panel together, but we got lots to talk about. KDot. First of all, how are you, KDot, other than your allergy issues and what's been going on with you and everything? I know what's been going on with you, but what's the latest before we get into what we're going to talk about today?
Well, thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here on this prestigious stage of yours.
I
And
don't know about that, man. We're like infamous, but
I am highly honored. So thank you for having me on the show. I've been pretty busy. I've been back on the streets, recording, uh, and keeping these peace officers, public servants, in line. And we've been doing a lot of work. Uh, we actually have a community meeting to go to um, approximately around 3:30. Um, so we've been doing the work. That's what we've been out here doing, and just focusing on that. So, but
yeah,
DJing too like crazy.
I know, man.
Oh my god, I DJ'd last night in all the way in Westminster until 10 o'clock. So
Oof, wow.
carrying all that equipment, Jesus. So I'm a bit sore too. So
You need an assistant, not me. I don't want to be carrying all that equipment.
I know.
Welcome, Moses. Nice to have you here. Keeper's in there. And also Scooter is in there. What's up, Scoot? Nice to have you here as well. I'm on with KDOT, and I got KDOT on today because we're going to talk about a problematic situation that an unfortunate event that happened here this past week in Aurora. Um, and I will warn everybody, I'm going to be showing some video. I did censor it, so we're not going to be seeing any dead bodies or the actual shooting or anything like that. Um, but I'm going to show you guys two different perspectives of what happened. Now, from your words, KDOT,
Uh-huh.
what are we going to be talking about today? And then we'll get into the video. And there's so much to talk about. I definitely want to get into exactly what we're going to be talking about today. But we're talking about the Rajon shooting
Right.
last week. So what can you tell us about the whole situation before we get into the videos?
Yeah, so that's definitely what we're going to be talking about. Rajon Belt, another unarmed black man shot and killed um, on Saturday. Not this Saturday, but last
Previous.
Saturday,
Yes.
approximately around 7:30. I arrived on. I've gotten um, a news article from the community approximately around 8. Even left a DJ gig to be with community. Um, so I arrived on the scene approximately around 8:30. Um, on the not really knowing that much information, just knowing that he was unarmed, he was a black male, and that he was. And at the time, I didn't even know he was unalived. I thought he was um, still living until I got that uh, till I communicated with his brother, and he's the one who told me that no, he's I asked, is it serious, and he had stated, well, yeah, he's still in the street. I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. And that was the day. It's my apologies, Kate. That I know I
yeah.
told you this before. I couldn't find my fucking phone. Uh,
Oh, I forgot about
yeah.
that.
Remember, you were frantically trying to get a hold of me, and you thought something weird was going on with me, but I simply couldn't find my phone. I mean, there was a long stretch where I just couldn't find my phone, and it was in my nightstand, but it was like butted up against. I don't know, no excuses, but um, it's just unfortunate. But
Yeah, because I know you would have been there with me on that
yeah,
scene for
yeah,
sure. I
yeah,
was more concerned of if he's okay
yeah.
with health or anything like that. So I was just like, oh,
Uh,
snap. So
the lovely Mod Batty is in chat. What's up, J Bat? Nice to have you here. And Jesse is in here. All
what up, Jesse?
right. Nice to have you here, Jesse. All right. I'm without further ado, I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys. Okay, so there is a trigger warning, everybody. Even though I did edit the video to not show um any of this actual shooting. There's trigger warning here. I do have that at the bottom of the screen on my banner. I know the mods have been putting trigger warnings in here. If you're sensitive to this type of thing, please look away for about a couple minutes. Um, it's really disturbing. I don't know how else to put it, but I want your guys's I'm gonna show you guys one angle first, and I want your guys and gals' reaction in chat to what we are about to see. Now, at this little disclaimer at the beginning of this video, they say Denver cop. It is not a Denver cop who shot Rajon. It was an Aurora cop, and we'll talk more about that after the clip. This
Yeah, I apologize. I should have clarified that.
Yeah, no worries. This is about a 30-second clip, y'all. Here we go.
Oh my god! No! He's gonna kill you! Oh my god! Oh my fucking god!
Okay, there's the clip. Y'all, what what are your impressions of what you saw there? Because this is really important. This is a um very important point to make. If I was looking just at this video, KDot, this is my feeling, right? If I was looking just at this video, I would have
Uh-huh.
saw an aggressive person walking forward towards a cop, right?
Right, right.
That would be the impression that you would get just based on this video. But my question, just from this video, and Chad, I want your opinion on what you think here. Was the cop justified in shooting um, Rajon according to this particular video? And I want your thoughts in the chat um, of your thoughts. My thoughts, K Dot, and then I'll go to your thoughts. just based on this video, I mean, I don't think it was justified, but I can see where the officer would, if this is the only thing that happened here, I can see where the officer thought that he may have been in danger based on the fighting stance. But my thought is, why not use non-lethal means? You know, a taser or something of that nature. Your thoughts, KDot, just based on this video alone.
Based on the video alone.
Just this particular video. Now I'm going to show you guys a different angle in a minute with a little bit of different footage. But in this video, KDot, what are your thoughts? Just if you were to just you take all the other videos that you've seen, KDot, out of the mix,
Yeah.
just based on this video, what are your thoughts?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
There was no justification because
Right.
you can clearly see his hands are visible. Um, the officer has enough space in between them. He's not backed into a corner. He can go left. He can go right.
Go
He
back.
can go backwards.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
He's not in the facility of anything. And not only that, you got to look at the imminent threat matching an imminent threat.
Right. 100%. I agree with you. There was no weapon, right? There was nothing in the vicinity
Right.
of Rajon that could even be construed as a weapon.
Right.
And I absolutely agree with you, KDot.
Yeah.
Right. But I will say this. I believe this was the only angle that the media showed when they showed the footage. Am I correct? They didn't show the whole video. Now, what I'm going to show you guys, all right? This is also trigger warning. This is going to be shocking. But I'm going to show you guys what happened, what exactly happened here. Okay. So you get a better picture of exactly what happened. And then we'll discuss it after. All right, here we go. Oh wait, it's the wrong one. Sorry. I gotta get, I pulled up the wrong one. Let's pull up the right one, which is this one. All right. Where are you at? There you are. Okay, here we go. Now I want you guys to really, really pay attention to this one because this is a better angle. All right, did you guys catch that? Did you guys catch what happened there? I'm gonna rewind this just a little bit here, and I want to show you guys something. Right about, let's see, right about here. I'm gonna show this again, just this little portion. Pay attention to what this cop does. Oh, of course it's not gonna play. Did you guys catch that? Rewind it for those who didn't catch it. See that? That's exactly right, Jesse. So, KDot, after seeing this video, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are this was not de-escalated. He escalated this. very much. Not only that, he did not follow the use of force continuum. Um, and and as he was walking, he turned around and walk away. He
Hmm.
hits him, but it wasn't like they were close to each other. He walked away and then hit him. No, he moved up, then hit him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So I showed you the first one, right? First one didn't have any sucker punch. So the media ran with that here in Denver and Aurora. The media ran with the narrative of, this cop was just backing up and this guy was aggressively coming towards him. So they want you to believe that the aggressor was Rajon. And then I'm looking at chat here. All right. Tanya, welcome. And good job, Renetta, on not believing everything. Um, Tanya said the cop punched him. What the fuck? That's something that the media didn't report on, Tanya. And then Scooter, whoa, the cop hit him? Yes. Yes is the answer to that. That's tricky. You're right. Never make an assumption based on a snippet of a recording. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Southern Yankees, a sucker punch. Jesse pointed it out earlier. Renetta caught it. The dude turned away, cop hit him from it. That's exactly right. Rajon turned away and was walking away. And that cop decided that he was going to step up to him and sucker punch Rajon. Now, I don't care if you're a cop, if you're another dude, a chick, if someone sucker punch you, KDot, what is your initial reaction to a sucker punch? Right? Your adrenaline's pumping. What is your initial reaction to that, KDot? You there, KDot? I think you're on mute.
yeah, I think it was very much cowardly. I think it was dangerous, first of all, uh, to sucker punch. And if he's walking away, assess the situation. That particular time, you could have holstered your lethal and deployed your unlethal, like a taser, um, OC spray. You know,
Well, here's
those
another thing that people are missing, KDot, in this whole thing. We were just over by City Hall watching um watching some events unfold underneath a bridge, right? We show up, no weapons, right? Um Simply our cameras, and the officers call for backup, right? Why could what Wouldn't it been a reasonable thing in this instance, KDOT, to call for backup? I mean, if I'm thinking about things, I mean, of all the things they call backup for, KDOT,
right.
people with cameras, people just observing. He didn't think to get on his radio and say, "Hey, I've got an aggressive dude here that I sucker punched. Um, we might need some help out here." That might have saved this Rajon's life here. I mean, do you agree, KDOT? Do you
Right.
think that that could have been maybe one of the options that this officer could have taken instead of just pulling the trigger? What's up, Jackie? Nice to have you here.
Well, that and then not going into oncoming traffic. I don't know why. And so he can justify, oh, well, I had nowhere else to go. Well, you went and you took a left. You didn't even look both ways. Aren't we taught to look both ways before we cross the street? Um, he just went backwards in the traffic. And not only that, if if you do your research, most unalivings by police or to police are from traffic incidents. It's not even from community trying to kill them or anything. It's literally from traffic incidents. And so I think he put himself in danger, He definitely put Rajon in danger, and he put those other people driving cars in danger. Because what if they were going at a normal speed and they hit him? You
Yeah.
know, could have been kids in the car, and they could have been extracted from the car. All those type of things you have to figure. Yeah, I mean, this was done. This was definitely sloppy. I guess what you call police work. I don't know.
Yeah.
This was horrible. Um, this was deplorable, and he should have known better to to even do this. So
Fuzzy asked, what was the original reason for this interaction? It was a simple traffic stop, Fuzzy. Um, he the officer believed that Rajon was under the influence of alcohol. How he determined that, who the fuck knows? Um, I the way that he was in a fighting stance says to me that I don't think he was drinking. I mean, he seemed lucid. He seemed like he wasn't like,
well, I would have to. I did also get an indication as well because there was somebody else who did a breakdown of this as well. I forgot which channel it was, but as soon as I figure that out, I'll put put it in the comment section. And he had stated that Ray John was actually a victim of the accident.
oh, really? Well, I
Yeah,
did not know that.
he was the victim of the accident, and yeah,
So
it
it
was
was an accident then.
it was an accident. Yes, yes. Because he hit Medine's car, uh, or which hit Medine's car, and two other cars. No, one other car.
I thought the officer hit Median's car.
No,
Oh,
it was stated that it was his car. It was alleged that his car hit Medine's car.
hmm.
So
Okay, I got you. Tanya said, did the cop get arrested? No, he's on vacation right now, Tanya.
yeah,
And I call it vacation because paid administrative leave is what they get when these things happen.
yeah, the normal protocol. You
Yeah,
know,
the normal, that happens.
yeah,
It's normal it's normal to get a vacation when you kill somebody in the police force, KDot. It's really weird. Um, so they don't care. The ego took over, Renetta says. Yeah, I mean his ego was off the chart in this case. By the way, I have run into this guy before, and I think KDot and I have run into this guy before. What's his name? His name is Officer Neely. And he's an instructor. Can you guys believe that?
yeah.
This guy,
His name is Matthew Sean Neely.
yeah, and this guy's an instructor. Makes sense of that. Yeah, paid assassins, Renetta says. He could have had a head injury, making him appear he was under the influence. Well, now that brings new context, doesn't it, Fuzzy? He got into a car accident. Maybe he bumped his head on the steering wheel, you know? Maybe the accident itself caused him to be disoriented. He didn't know what was going on, possibly. And by the way, this is what makes this even worse, y'all. He got he got unalived right in front of his son. His son was there
Yes,
to
yeah.
witness this.
And I believe his son is 17, if I'm not mistaken.
And I think in one of the videos you can see the son clearly saying, "No, don't," you know, like trying to calm the situation down, and the officer wasn't having any of it. Any of it. Yeah, of course he is, Fuzzy. Of course he's an instructor. I've run into this guy. I've got to pour over my archives to find the interaction, but um, from what I can remember, it wasn't a good interaction. And one thing KDOT and I are very good at when we go do these cop watches, a lot of people get irritated when we do these cop watches, but we do them for very good reason. Number one, to hold these officers accountable
Right.
for their actions, but number two, to prevent these type of things from happening, because they know if we're there, we're recording them, and the body cams. I'm a fan of the body cams, but at the same time, I'm not, because they have a tendency. The body cams have a tendency to go away or be edited. We've seen that how many times before, KDot, where
Plenty of times. It
there's missing footage. The
happened in my cousin's case.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly. There's missing footage, or it's been altered. Some, they turn the cameras off at convenient times. Uh, you know, you know, stuff like
it's
that.
not used properly. It's not. Um, yeah, it's just looked to make the narrative, and then when they finally do release it, they do all different type of edits, and it's just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Also, this guy is no stranger to trouble.
Yes.
By the way,
Yes. Officer Neely is not a good cop.
no,
And by the way, I believe he either quit or got fired. I mean, that's still unclear. I'm waiting for clarification. I did put in the request for that, KDOT. That's why we were at City Hall,
right?
is to gather more information. You know what I didn't do? I didn't ask for Neely's pay, and I need to do that. But
Right,
I guarantee
right.
it's over 100,000. I can assure you, KDOT, it's over 100,000. Um, so what's up, Sean Little? Nice to have you here. Yeah, exactly, Renetta. Cops know how to manipulate them to fit their narrative all the time. They do clever edits, Renetta. But here's the thing about this particular one. Um, there are at least 7 other videos that I know of that I don't have yet that I'm working on getting. And when I get those, I have to edit all those and stuff, but I'll do another quick panel on it, to show you guys the different angles. So there's no bullshit, you know. Um, as for the highest level of education, they're all fucking high school. That's it, keeper. And some of them don't even have high school. I guarantee none of these officers have a degree. And if
And
they do, they're put in administrative jobs, or they're given cushier roles within the department. Unless you off someone, like I'm fully expecting, KDOT, that once this is all said and done, Officer Neely to be promoted to like lieutenant or something. You know what I mean?
oh god,
I
that would
mean,
be horrible.
well, I mean, look what happened with Michael Douglas, Mister. I let people sleep on the job over there,
Yeah,
KDOT. I mean,
yeah. I think this. I will tell you this. Let's just say, and play devil advocate real quick. Let's just say he is acquitted. He is found to do no wrongdoing. He was up to date on departmental policies, right?
mhm.
Let's just say that. Um, it would be in his best interest not to be in, to have his job reinstated, because it is something different. It was something different about that particular video, and not only that, the people who care for Ray John, or care for the actual uh, story of it, and they made it very clear, at least the community, uh, they're not anticipating marching anywhere. That is not what they're about. They want to see the city burned down to the ground. Uh, and that's how they feel. Now, I'm not saying that that will happen or anything like that. I'm just saying that I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? It'd be in his best interest not to show up for work.
Okay.
That's
Let's talk about this, KDOT,
yeah,
because the chief did a press conference.
yes.
KDOT, I want you to talk about this problematic press conference. I didn't get a chance to see the whole thing, but give us a rundown on what the chief was shoveling into our mouths here.
Well, let's talk about the first press conference. He didn't really have that much knowledge at all. He didn't produce a. Well, he said that there was a gun near the area, and of where the incident had occurred, and you guys can clearly see there was no physical gun on him, no firearm whatsoever. um, and he kind of painted the narrative that if Rayshawn were to just simply comply and communicate with the officer, none of this would have happened. And now the second interview, or I'm sorry, the second press conference, he explains, okay, well, we have a picture of the gun. Okay, it was in a grassy area or whatever. Um, okay, but he never stated that it was on his body. Then he also stated that he got out of the car and threw the gun, kind of like what happened in Denver with that crazy ass officer Brandon Ramos,
Yeah.
and the assailant, or the yeah, took out the gun and threw it, and he ended up being shot. Now, I don't prescribe anybody to do that. um, Whatsoever. That's very much playing with your life. If it's on you, just let them have it. Just whatever. But it still didn't justify or warrant. And here's the thing. He said he threw it, but why wasn't he okay, quote unquote, shot right then and there? You know what I'm saying? Or why wasn't he tased there? Or why wasn't you wait a minute, possibly a minute and a half to shoot him after he gets out of the car, he throws the gun, you yank him back, and then he also stated they got into some type of a struggle. Um, and then he also stated that the victim was over the top of him. He wasn't like he just stood near him, and so the officer fell on the ground, and he was standing on top of him, like he was standing over him. Didn't hit him, didn't do anything. Still didn't stump his head in or whatever. Even allowed the cop to get back up. So I mean, Jesus Christ, he was a huge threat. And then after that, that's when the cop started backing up or whatever. He started following the cop. The guy turned around, and then he said he claimed, "Get my shit, get the shit, get the shit," and he. And this is what I'm saying. The chief felt that he was referring to a gun. Well, how can you really? I mean, do you have evidence on that he was talking about a gun? We don't know that. He could have been talking about his car. We don't know that was in an accident. We don't know. We don't know what he was. The shit is not a gun. He didn't stay. He didn't articulate a firearm. He said the shit or my shit. That's what he said. That's when he went. That's when he had turned around, and so his justification behind that, they said, "Oh, well, the officer de-escalated by hitting him to distract him from getting the firearm." Okay.
He de-escalated by sucker punching is what he should have said. That
Right.
would have been more true.
Right.
Uh,
But they got to have it wrapped up in a nice bow. So so that's what happened. He turns back around in a normal human reaction, because first of all, he doesn't know if backup like came or whatever. It could have been multiple officers trying to beat the hell out of him. So in a normal reaction, he it's either fight or flight, and he chose to fight, uh, defensive stance. And so that's when he came closer toward the officer, and I guess from what he said, "Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?" Uh, and so that's when he took a smart idea. This officer goes in the middle of traffic and then shoots and kills Ray John right there in the street.
yeah, yeah. I I saw the unedited versions of these videos, and they're even more horrific. KDot, and obviously this is a tragedy, and it should never have happened. I think the officer did not follow any type of policy. What was the first thing I told you when I found out just the minimal facts about this case, KDot? Do you remember when you
Um,
called me? Do you remember what I told you?
I don't remember who it was.
The thing
I
I told
apologize.
you was, KDot, when does the cover up start?
Right, you did say that.
Yep.
And before we get into that, I also want to know. I also want to note that there is another video, and I meant to send it to you. As soon as I find it, I'll send it to you. There is another video of him going over Rayshawn's body, lifting, rolling him back and forth, not administering first aid, which that's part of their protocol, is administering first aid. Uh, another officer comes in very quickly, collects him, and then drives off before any type of emergency first responders arrives. Now, police are considered first responders. So instead of picking the officer up, getting him to quote unquote safety, you allow Rajon to bleed in the streets and die alone.
Well, let me assuage anything here, KDot. There were, I believe, a total of 3 shots. Am I
Right.
correct in that?
Yep, two to the chest,
Two to the chest,
chest cavity, and then one in the head.
one in the head.
Yeah,
Yeah. So this was more of an execution than anything.
absolutely,
KDot,
absolutely.
point blank range. If I were to tell you, if you were to just close your eyes for a moment in chat, and I were to tell you there was a man that was 2 feet away from another man, took his handgun, lifted it up, and shot the other man 3 times, twice in the chest, once in the head. The other man was not armed. What would you think? What picture would that paint in your mind? In my mind, it would be an execution.
That is an execution. It's absolutely an execution. And not only that, the where he shot him at was good enough. Trust me, he was gone probably at the first after the first shot. Really, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's really disturbing, Kate. The
Um,
video you guys didn't see in the video, Rajan was shot twice to the chest. He stood there looking down at his probably what was gushing blood at that time. I
yeah,
can't see from
yeah,
this particular angle, and the cop decides to take the final blow.
yeah. And I think he made an example of Rajan, and to where they probably won't even have an open casket. His family won't even be allowed to even have an open cat because of the gunshot to the head. That's totally up to the family, but most likely not. And so that was even an extra rub and an extra insult to that. And
Renetta says, "Yes, KDot, they unalive you and then pretend to save you. Make that make
and
sense."
I want to be very clear: this was done on Elijah McClain's 6-year anniversary. You're absolutely right, Fezzi.
Yeah, Fuzzy said it. Rajon was killed on the 6th anniversary of Elijah McClain's unaliving.
How freaky is that? Like how? And not only that, one of our civil rights act advocates was also had witnessed the whole entire thing too. She literally got out of the car and seen what happened, and so I'm pretty sure she was shooken up as well. But it was just um, this definitely could have been avoided. The officer had plenty enough of time to holster that weapon and pick a lighter, less lethal option, and he, for some reason, he just did not. And I don't, And then it was also stated that Ray John was under the influence which we don't know about that either. We don't have that, you know.
Oh, I'm sure they'll doctor up some toxicology
Yeah,
reports.
yeah. And I encourage the family to get their own instead of relying on
Yep,
their. I always encourage family to do that.
yep.
Um,
I always encourage that as well as autopsies and other things, because that's another thing I expect. I expect the autopsy to be, oh, he had pre-existing conditions. He would have
yeah,
survived if he didn't, you know,
right,
have a brain aneurysm right before this,
right,
this shooting. He would have definitely survived a shot to the head. I mean,
right.
that's how they are. I mean, it's that ridiculous.
It is. And I actually, if you don't mind me, I do have the Internal Affairs Bureau investigation that happened in 2019 of this officer.
Oh yeah, go right ahead, KDot.
So, and I should have sent this to you, and I'll send it to you uh, once we get off of here, and then you can post it on your community page, and people can read it for themselves. So it says the evidence in support of an internal investigation revealed the following: an 18th Judicial District Court judge ruled May 2nd of 2019 that Officer Paul Timmons. Timmons sounds familiar. Timmons sounds very familiar. And Officer Matthew Neely gave false testimony during a motion hearing on a burglary case in Arapahoe District Court. Now, I want to be very clear. This is an involvement of a use of force. Um, I believe he shot somebody during a burglary, supposed burglary. The judge in allegedly. The judge, in making his findings on the motion, stated on the record that Officer Timmons and Officer Neely are not credible. They testified inconsistent with the video of the court of what the court observed. So that so the court finds that their other testimony regarding what happened when the video is not on and is credible, and the court is willing to believe any is not willing to believe any of it. Judge also stated regarding the arrest of the defendant, quote, the court finds that those just that a felony may have occurred is not specific enough facts for the officers to use the degree of force associated with an arrest such as what was used here. Judge also found that not only was the initial arrest unjustified and unlawful, the search of the defendant's person was unconstitutional. Judge ruled the defendant was in custody for purpose of Miranda. And I want to be very clear. There is a difference between legal and there's a difference between lawful. Okay. Legal only administers the code, statutes, anything dealing with civil, corporate terms. Lawful is we're talking about the Constitution, rights violations, inalienable rights, all those particular things that have to do with the Constitution of law. Okay, the law of the land. I want to be very, very clear on that. Uh, the court finds though, or I read that. Okay, his freedom and actions curtailed to the degree associated with the formal arrest. The moment that the police got before Officer Neely got out of the car, he was put on the ground, placed in handcuffs, and then immediately subject to interrogation. Another blatant violation of his Fifth Amendment. Remember when I said legal and lawful, he said unlawful. Constitutional rights. Law enforcement had no reason to conduct a frisk of the defendant, which is the Fourth Amendment violation. No specific reason to believe that he was armed or dangerous, posing any weapons on his person. Wow, does that sound familiar?
Yeah, KDot. This guy.
Does that sound familiar to you, MLH?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
sounds like what we're talking about right now.
yeah, yeah.
They were not conducting a lawful arrest, so that was not an arrest or search incident. To arrest this was a blatant violation of his constitutional rights, searching through his pockets to try to find evidence of a crime. Uh, excuse me.
Sounds like some Nazi bullshit to me, KDot.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what it sounds like to me. And Fuzzy made a great point here, KDot.
yeah,
Not credible guy is training other cops. So this guy that lied, you know what, KDot?
yeah.
I think any case that Officer Neely was involved in should be immediately thrown out. Anybody that's been put in jail because of Neely should be immediately let out, because how can you trust his
Well,
testimony?
here's the thing. This is because to have transparency and accountability on both sides. I think it needs all his arrest needs to be investigated, and if those are notwithstanding of the law, then they should be thrown out because
How
then
can
you're
you
doing
trust
two things.
anything? How can you trust anything that Neely has ever said, KDot?
No, I'm with you, but
You know?
at the end of the day, I would prefer because there might be some other shit on there. You know what I'm saying? It might be another case that's similar to this. So I think it'll be more transparent to have it investigated fully, all of his cases investigated fully, and then if those are uh, are not lawful arrests, then they need to be publicized, and then they need to be those people need to be let out,
I agree.
or a settlement needs to happen for those loss of time of unlawful arrest. So
Mm.
here's another thing. It says here's the second page. The subsequent internal affairs investigation was regarding the following APD directives. So this is it says making a false or untruthful declaration, which he did. That's that's code 14.2.2. That's the rules of that you can find up at on their handbook. Um, conduct unbecoming, un, unsatisfactory performance, uh, 15 15 unsatisfactory performance, yeah, use of physical force, constitutional requirements. The internal affairs investigation revealed that neither officer had watched their own body worn camera, which is crazy. That's why you have the body worn camera, so you can. We're all human. Some things that we space out, right? And so now that we have the body worn camera, you go on the off the body worn camera, and then you can write in detail your report from the body worn camera. You don't write what's the use of having a damn body camera if you don't write the report off of it, because
Yeah.
you know they're going to be you're going to be questioned on that. You know you're going to well, it says that you wrote this, but the body camera says something different.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah, yep.
real quickly, KDot.
Mhm.
Um, I've been saying this for years. You
Yep.
and I have both been saying this for years,
Yep.
right? We are not there to cause problems. We're there to cause good problems, KDot.
Yep.
And here's my feeling on the matter. A lot of this shit could have been avoided by simply firing the bad apples, KDot. Now, their justification for not getting rid of people, in my opinion, KDot, as a police officer, you get caught lying in a court of law, that should immediately disqualify you from being a police officer. I think you should be immediately put on a list as unhireable anywhere to be an officer. I think if we started doing those type of things, getting rid of these bad apples, I think we could work with these officers. K dot. We
Well,
could we could train them,
not
right?
just that, and I think there is something that they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be uh, put on the Brady list. And not only that, but that officer, that's perjury.
Hmm.
So I
He
think that's
broke
a
the law.
mandatory. Yeah, you should be arrested right out of the stand. Absolutely, you should be prosecuted. You should be booked. All those type of things. You should be arrested because you lied in the court of law and you took an oath.
That's what I'm saying. And immediately fired, KDot.
Immediately
It,
fired and prosecuted.
and prosecuted
Yep,
100%. If that
100.
would have happened in 2019, KDot, we wouldn't be sitting here on a panel discussing the summary execution of Rajon
Right,
Belt in
right.
the streets of Aurora.
Now this is where it's going to throw you a loop, guys, because you'll remember this. Uh, not he's not a chief, but he was going for the chief position, division chief. So the internal investigation revealed that neither officer had watched their body worn camera video of the incident to writing their reports to testifying in court. This resulted in their testimony not matching the body camera video concerning certain portions of the incident. The use of force consisted of taking the suspect to the ground twice. The officers did not notify a sergeant of the use of force as required by APD policy. The sergeant investigated to the sergeant investigated the use of force and found that the force was reasonable and appropriate considering the officers used the minimal amount of force necessary to prevent injury of themselves and suspect in icy condition. The officer was not injured, of course not. The sergeant noted throughout the contact the suspect was uh, uncooperative and refused to follow any direction and asked them to kill him. Based on review of the investigation, acting chief of police O'Keefe, remember the same guy that let one of his officers get off of drinking and driving in the middle of it, in the middle of the shift, in the middle of the damn street. Officer Nate Myers, um, acting chief of police O'Keefe, sustained for violating Aurora Police Department directive and conduct unbecoming and unsatisfactory performance. So he was probably written up by the city manager on that one. Additionally, a finding of non-sustain was determined by acting chief police O'Keefe for the following Aurora Police Department: making a false or untruthful declaration, use of physical force, and constitutional requirement. So that's the entire report. Like I said, it almost fits this narrative it's a very similar narrative to what's going on. Uh, but the guy is still here and still alive, and I would love to talk to that person. By the way,
Yeah, if you're listening, get a hold of KDot,
yeah,
kdotcopwatch at gmail.com.
yes,
Paige has a comment here. Too many cops join to quote unquote get some instead of quote unquote protect and serve now. Here's the thing, Paige. Here in the United States, I don't know how it is in Canada or any other country, but here in the United States, the Supreme Court determined that police officers are not responsible for our safety. So that protect and serve shit, they don't they could care less. And they treat people like that. Freedom Nuts, welcome. Nice to have you here. You're safe here. You were never blocked here, Freedom Nuts. So you don't have that to worry about. Luckily, Fuzzy, check this out, KDot. Neely is also the grant manager, which means he searches for government funds to get money for the APD. Do you know that, KDot?
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Um, Scooter made a good comment earlier. She said, "Whatever happened to cops being peace officers, or was this just a Canadian thing?" Um, they're clowns, Scooter. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. It's a fucking circus, especially in Aurora. I never thought I would say this, KDot, but Aurora is worse than Denver. Aurora is in the top 5 worst police forces in all the United States. They're awful.
Yeah,
They are exactly the opposite of what KDot and I envision as a police force.
they're the only city who has a consent decree in Colorado.
Yep,
A
the only one.
statewide consent decree. And I think I had seen somebody say, well, or at least mention, well, qualified immunity. You guys have qualified immunity. Well, that's only statewide, guys. So if you file a lawsuit in that particular case, it has to be a statewide lawsuit for it to be no qualified immunity.
Can you explain consent decree, KDot, because Keeper is wondering what
Oh,
a
okay, yeah, no
consent.
problem. So a consent decree is basically it's a contract with the state or the courts. So the courts have the contract, or the state courts have the contract with Aurora PD, stating that they have to implement new policies. They have uh, and correct any of the biases or anything that was done on this 14 long months investigation done by the Attorney General Phil Weiser, and they have to adhere to the consent decree, and they have to make sure that they do all the guidelines. Not only do they have to implement new policies, they must be trained by a certain time. And if they don't, then there's going to be a problem. It can result into fines or other things. So, um, and they better have a good excuse or a good reason why certain trainings weren't done. So, and they have to follow every single guideline within that consent decree, or they're in the violation of it. So,
Yeah. Um, Real quickly before we leave, KDot, I don't want to take up too much of people's weekend time
right.
here. There is football today. um,
Yeah.
I asked you this off air, KDot, and
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say, has this consent decree actually did anything? Because I'm with Joe Cool on
Uh-huh.
consent decrees. I think they're pacifiers for the community.
I think I agree. I think it was kind of like, hey, we implemented this, so shut up, let it work. No, it hasn't put a major dent in the reform of policing in Aurora, Colorado. It has not. So I think it's a joke. I think it's literally a piece of paper. And like I said, I haven't seen any real accountability being done or transparency. And the reason why I say that is because when it came to my cousin's death, they still haven't released all body worn cameras, which they were supposed to release from the judge's orders. And Aurora police, like the little gangsters that they are, basically said, "Fuck the courts. We're gonna do what we want to do."
Why aren't some people in jail for that, KDot? Can't they be held in contempt?
Um, they well then, if that's not released, they're gonna hold the chief accountable for that for sure.
He should be in jail right now.
I agree with you. Now I don't know if it'll be a civil or a criminal thing. That's the thing I don't know. Because they can likely be fined for that, but I don't know if it would be an arrestable. It should be. I don't know if it would be an arrestable defense if they fail to release that, because Nine News had to sue Aurora PD, won the lawsuit, and yeah, so I think it would just stay civil if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah. All right. Well, any final thoughts, KDot? I mean, this is super problematic. Obviously, we're going to have more information as we get it going forward. We're going to have panels and stuff of that nature. I used to live in Aurora. Police Pluck says police there suck. They do pluck 100%. And thank you for being here. Um, any final thoughts, KDot, before we end this stream on into doing what we do and finding out more information?
Well, I'd like to say that we're going to keep up on the story. We will any type of updates or anything like that. We will definitely let you guys know about it, because this is an important story, and we feel for the community. And this shouldn't have happened to this young man. Nothing should have happened to this young man, like it. He, the officer has a right to protect himself, but it has to be reasonable, and words matter. In this case, this was not reasonable. This was excessive. This is not reasonable force. This was excessive force. You did way too much, my guy. Like, you did way too much. You caused the death of somebody. You did not follow your own uh, use of force continuum. That's why it's there for. That's why it's there. And so I encourage everybody, please, if you see things like this, or if you see a traffic stop or whatever, and if you have enough time, I encourage any and everybody to start recording, because they're only getting worse. And not only that, especially because we're in uh, this Trump area where he wants to, have immunity for all police. Um, and I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm for the people. That's who I am. That's
Yeah.
exactly who I'm. That's the party that I belong to, for the people. And so, um, I just feel like a lot of the stuff that we worked on, especially for this city, uh, rolled back because of Daniel Jurinsky, all these Republican type uh, platform parties, and like I said, there's a couple of conservatives on the board that will fight for the people, but we have 4 seats that are up in Aurora. If you live in Aurora, I encourage you to please vote. I encourage you to please vote in your local system. Okay, um, vote their asses out, and voting starts in November. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me on the show, uh, MLH, and I'm glad we were able to go over this, because this is so crucially important.
Yeah, we'll have more information. This is just a preliminary panel on this. K. Dot Fuzzy says, don't forget he was the crisis negotiator. Yeah, there was no negotiating this. This was summary execution, in my opinion. So we will continue the good fight. I catch a lot of flack, for not doing anything, but KDOT knows better. Most of my work is done behind the scenes. Like I said, we
Yeah,
at the same time that we were at City Hall putting in FOIA requests for certain officers' pay and other FOIA requests for other things that we needed. I had noticed that there were a couple cops underneath the bridge harassing homeless people or unhoused, as they say now. Um, and KDOT and I went over there, and you guys saw the result of that video, which prompted me to go right back to City Hall to file a complaint for an officer that doxed KDOT and myself, um, with our real names on stream, which puts me at great risk, especially in the climate that I'm working with right now. It
right.
seems like everybody wants my head, KDOT, for whatever reason. But we do put in the hard work behind the scenes. And
Absolutely.
and I hope you guys continue to support KDOT and support this channel, because we do a lot more than what you see in front of the camera. So my final thoughts on this, KDOT, is this is a terrible tragedy. Officer Neely should be fired and put in jail for a very long time, for life. Usually that's what murder murderers get.
I agree.
at least 20 years. Um, and we need to get a hold of that Brady list. And that's something super elusive that we could do a completely different panel on, KDot. But anyways, I want to thank everybody in chat. Fuzzy and JBat and Big Chief, thanks for holding down the fort. Make sure you sub up to my backup channel, RP Grinders. No DT for the next 2-3 weeks, but I will have content on the channel here and there. Maybe some cop watches. Maybe KDot and I can get out there and do a cop watch or two. So you guys can see that we're not complete fucking jerks, and we just want what's best for the people.
And I encourage everybody to go see that last video of MLH of us interacting with the PD on the bridge because we absolutely said nothing to nobody, and then obviously shit gets started with us, and then we'll finish it. But at the end of the day, no, Officer McDonald was out of pocket, completely out of pocket, unprofessional, and did his job with no integrity, clearly.
Yeah,
So,
and Ronald McDonald, who makes 114,000 base pay, not including overtime and other perks of the job.
right.
Now you're on my radar, big time, dude, and I'm gonna follow through with that complaint. KDot, stick around after in the backstage for
Yep.
just a few. Everybody, thank you guys so much for being here. And need a new Colfax run, Chris says. Yes. No hot tub. Not for right now. Bernie's way too busy. I can't do hot tub without Bernie Keeper. Yeah, absolutely, Chris. I think I will do that.
Yeah.
Protect my mental health. Page says it's tough work. Speaking of mental health, if you um, uh, are struggling with your own mental health, please reach out to somebody that you know, love, and trust. In lieu of that, my email is mexicanlonghair@gmail.com. I'm not a psychiatrist, psychologist, or a counselor, but I do listen, and sometimes that helps. But if I don't get back to you in a timely fashion, just remember somebody out there thinks you are their favorite, like KDOT is my favorite. Um, if you're not in North America, or there's a North American hotline that you can dial, that number is 988. If you're not in North America, type in your browser a choice mental health help. Those are great options for everybody. Please talk to somebody before you do anything rash. And that's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you guys, I don't know, probably tomorrow, knowing me, or the next day. I'm fucking workaholic. So I'll see you all soon. You guys have a great one. Appreciate you all.